Hey.
My name is Miss Cole. This is Spreading Love Unapologetically. Yay! To my left, I have Miss Freeman, and to my right, I have Miss Kenny. And we'd like to welcome you on this Wednesday mid evening to our show. I represent Adjusting Lives, Healing Hearts, and I'm going to give you a little bit of background on what we do. We help formerly or presently incarcerated individuals reintegrate into society in various ways. Our company has been around for a while, and since, let me see, last year, we have come into collaboration with BAM and Epic for a tremendous network of people that are actually going to do the work to change the narrative for the ex-offender or the formerly incarcerated individual. I'm going to pass it off to Tamara for a brief introduction before we delve right into things.
Hey y'all. How y'all doing? I'm Tamora.
Tamara. See, I knew it.
I'm
I
so
knew
used
it.
to it. Like it's either tomorrow, tomorrow,
Now
tomorrow.
everybody laughing
Oh,
at
I'm the same way.
Tamara.
Gianna,
Tamara.
You
Jenna.
have no idea how long it took us to get your name.
It's all
I,
right.
I still don't. It's Gina.
Gina.
Gianna.
Which one is it?
Nah.
Oh God, we still have it.
That's the joys of having a name that's spelled original.
Gianna.
Hey everyone, I'm Tamora Freeman. I am with By Any Means or BAM, and we have been here since June, July of 2020 with Teresa Rogers, who is just walking in the door. Hey, T.
Hey, T.
We pretty much are on the same platform as ALHH and Epic. The difference for us is we're working directly inside the prisons with our loved ones and your loved ones, and we are focusing on re-entry programs and some other things that we have exciting coming up, and I'll give Teresa an opportunity to speak about that. I'm
Let 'em
going
know
to
what
pass
you
it on
said.
over to
Bring that one in the middle here. Sorry,
While
guys.
she's
We're trying to rearrange the studio.
And so, as we think about it, we're thinking about having mentorships and internships. So, while I have the opportunity, that's a little bit about what we want to talk about. So, I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to Teresa.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Hi, everyone. I'm Teresa Rogers, by any
Can you see
means. We're definitely excited to be collaborating and talking on these serious issues that are uncomfortable but necessary to have. We have a lot of people that reach out to us daily on different situations, and so we're trying to be proactive instead of reactive so we can get ahead of it and make some lifelong changes within this injustice system.
There we go. I just want to make sure everybody's in the picture so everyone can see us. Or at least hear us, as long as everybody can hear us. Hi, everybody. I'm Gina Kenny. I am the president of EPIC, Ensuring Parole for Incarcerated Citizens. We have been established for over a year now. Myself and Terry Croston, who is the founder as well with EPIC. We were part of another organization and regrouped it. We've been doing this advocacy work for many years. It's hard work. Definitely need a village to continue this work, which is what I'm thankful and grateful for with these ladies right here. I know that the things that we're about to do is going to be something that not any organization as a coalition are doing and helping one another. And, you know, we all have our different agendas and it's all about teamwork. You know, EPIC's always been together. Everyone achieves more. Everyone has their certain agendas and their certain talents, but together we can become a force and make sure that our voices are heard one way or another. Our EPIC is actually A 501c3, we fight for fair laws and treatment within ODRC. We currently are proposing a proposal for fair guidelines within our parole system. A lot of people are unaware, but our parole board in Ohio operates on absolute discretion. There's no guidelines. They're basically flapping, which means resentencing, giving more time to individuals for nature of crime. Epic is out here spreading lots of love unapologetically and bringing awareness and education that nature of crime will never go away. However, people do change, and it's up to us, the people and society, to come together in unity and put our foot down and make sure that the changes that are necessary are changed. And that goes to the lawmakers. Like, we have to start putting laws in, updating laws, revising laws. We're no longer living in the 1800s. There's so many things right now that are going on throughout the United States, and people are angry, and right now is our time. It's our blessing in disguise to get the work we're trying to do done. We definitely have to provide resources and programs and the whole 9 yards, not only to them when they're coming out, but the minute they go in, our children, the school to prison pipeline, it's serious. Today, ACLU just dropped, it's now went from school to prison pipeline to state house to prison pipeline.
Mm-hmm.
Wake up, people. Wake up.
Yeah. You guys are paying for it. The majority are paying for it. Of taxpayers are paying for this. And I'm just going to piggyback and take what Gina said is my company is more, we deal with the person from the city jail, which is from them first committing their crimes all the way through to through their incarceration. And what I found out is that if you can do whatever, you can tell somebody, they can change, you can give them all this programming, but if they're hungry and if they don't have a place to stay and they don't have any money, it doesn't matter.
Exactly.
So the goal and the main fight, that the reason that we're here now is to bring awareness to what is really happening on the inside, which BAM does, on the outside, which Gina does, and then collectively together, because there are things that are not happening for people, just like I had to fight to get out on a 6 to 25 and end up doing 14 years. So the laws aren't right. People need to know, taxpayers need to know what's being done with the money, and everybody deserves a chance. And that is why we're here, and that is what we're doing, and we're going to make it actually happen. I've been doing this for 17 years, so I'm an expert in this field.
Yes, you are.
Thank you. I'm an expert.
Inside out.
Inside out, inside out,
Okay,
inside
we're not
out.
gonna pick
I
on
know,
you
she
today.
don't like those. But we love you.
Yeah.
I know, I ate some of that food.
And she's obviously living proof that people do change. I mean,
Absolutely. So,
it doesn't matter the crime.
so what we're going to do today is kind of tell you about what we've been doing. So my past 2 weeks have been spent in Franklin County in the city jail, programming with a group of 13 men that have been in the city jail for 6 months or more, and they're fighting their present situations. So some of them have been in there as long as 2 years, facing long time. And so what I go in and do is talk about what decisions or non-decisions that we did or did not make for us to end up in our current situation. And it was very enlightening. This was my first programming with all men, and it was very good. And it's overwhelming. I'm getting more people that want to come in weekly. So that has started. So that is so we take them from the beginning and help them all the way through in a full circle effort.
Yes.
So that is the reason for this program, Spreading Love Unapologetically, because we need people to know that we are doing it and we need help.
We definitely need help.
Absolutely.
I actually just posted a post. If you're personally friends with me, it's also circulating from all of our Facebook pages. We can definitely give you the links to those further on in the show. But please, we're looking for anything, volunteers, donations, sponsors, the whole 9 yards. Like I said, it's going to take a village. It's going to take a whole lot of people. I know our organization alone is reached out several times a day from just family members, needing help and wanting assistance. And, that's all great. Like we don't mind helping and assisting, but we need help as well. Like, don't just run away when we help you and we fix your problem. Like, we need you guys to show up to the rallies if we're having rallies, if we're having events. Today, call in, have your voice heard, speak your mind. Please, 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 if you can assist in any way, whether it be liking, sharing, commenting, joining, volunteering. We're definitely going to need some people with boots on ground assisting us, whether it be painting, snow shoveling, mentoring young people, mentoring those that are coming back out to society. There's a lot of work that needs to be done, and we can definitely help put you somewhere where you're needed. That's for sure.
And the phone lines are open, 216-939-5087, 216-939-5087. We are streaming on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Please share, like, share. Don't just watch, share.
Yes.
We need help. Share. Like,
So share.
don't just watch, share.
Share.
Call in.
Yes.
Don't just look.
Don't just listen.
Don't just look. Don't just listen.
We appreciate you guys coming. So BAM has been a very, very busy 2 weeks for us. We've gone through a little bit of reorganization, which is really awesome, in organizations. And we've been focusing more, of course, since we worked so much with the inside, helping loved ones.
Right.
It became more personal for us, and we realized that there's some major issues going on in different areas. We have people who are working on health and nutrition with Aramark. And if you guys haven't been paying attention,
they just decreased. They just decreased the amount it would cost
for the
per
contract.
incarcerate. Yes, and it's disturbing because the food's already sickening.
Yeah, and I think that on our Twitter,
Please tell them how much they spend on a meal a day.
You know what? It was $3.95. It was $3.95. They actually decreased it.
Yeah, for the full day.
For a full day.
That's not one. Yeah, that's not one meal. That's the full day.
Full day.
Yes.
$3.95. And actually, when you read all of the information, is even less. They got the contract for even less.
I saw $151 a meal.
Exactly.
Yes.
And so our concern right now is they're already eating slop.
Right.
They're already eating mushy food. They're already eating a lot of unhealthy things. And so then when they get out, when they go into reentry, the problem becomes now they have major health issues, And so we have to be able to battle that from the inside out as well.
Just to piggyback off of that, when we're speaking about how ways that you could help, if you were to call one of our organizations and your loved one doesn't have water or the electricity is out, the phones are down, it's the winter time, there's no heat, there's cold water, whatever's going on, and we make the calls for you. We advocate that, that you advocate for your loved one also. And when it's somebody else, that you join in on calling them and, putting the pressure on them for everything.
Yes.
And I think the biggest thing is, especially with us few, like we have loved ones that are incarcerated, and
all of us.
Right. We're not even going to bat to hell for our own loved ones. We're doing it as a whole for all of them. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
like our loved ones are suffering because
Call
of everything.
in.
Right.
Right.
Oh,
Send money.
yes.
Right.
They're suffering.
Right. So, just a little bit of an inch, one call, one email. I mean, just
let me piggyback off of the suffering, because it is suffering, degradation. Yeah, I know, because everybody's saying, well, we didn't put you there, or y'all put yourself there, all that. Okay, we're getting outside of that. People are locked up. People are hungry. People did make mistakes. So everybody made mistakes. Y'all just haven't got caught yet.
Yes.
Congratulations. That's the only difference between y'all and me. Y'all didn't get caught.
Yeah.
Right.
So we're not talking about that. We're not making excuses about that. We're talking about real things that happen, things I went through, things that people go through daily. Kids are going through it.
Kids.
11 and 12-year-old kids are doing
Yes.
5 and 6 years. They're getting out, acting crazy. Then they treat them as adults. Then they want to kill them and all that.
Yeah.
Kids are going to jail at 11 and 12.
For life.
Period. Prison rehabilitation is not meant to be slavery, degradation, take you out of who you are. You have to build me up. We have to set the narrative for ourselves. An ex-offender is just a person who committed a crime. That was it. The person who got caught. Caught is the verb. Caught
Yes.
committing
Convicted,
a crime. That is it. So I don't care what they did. There's still people. Everybody deserves a chance, period. We set the narrative for everything else, all inclusive. Now it's time for the formally justice involved person. That's it. That's all we're saying. And we hope that people help. But if you don't, it's still going to happen. It's happening now.
I think that BAM, one of the things that Teresa talks a lot about is out of the past year, because we were with another agency, and so we've been able to see it from several different standpoints. And now with Biting Means, we've only received what's the percentage of people saying I didn't do it, I'm innocent?
Literally, out of hundreds of people I've talked to, I've only had 3 people ever tell me, hey, I'm innocent.
And that's the thing, like, especially nowadays, you have the David Singleton, the Beyond Guilt. Like, when people are actually fighting for their innocence, you should believe them, because there's so many programs nowadays. Honestly, like, people that are innocent going to the parole board, if they're not showing remorse, that's normally typically why they're being flopped, because they're not wanting to show remorse or redemption. And it's, if I wasn't even there or didn't convict the crime, how do you expect me to be remorseful? Period. Like, I can't be remorseful for something I didn't do.
I totally agree.
Like, I can feel bad for the situation. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
Whether it be a life loss, somebody, got hurt, shot, whatever. I can have remorse for the situation, but me, myself, how do I have redemption for something that I rightfully and honestly and innocently did not commit?
Well, let me jump in on that, because we have a situation with a loved one who's over at Grafton, who a crime was committed over 30 years ago. So he's in there under the old law.
Okay.
There was three defendants, and there was a murder, aggravated murder. He wasn't the person that committed murder. He was actually away from the scene. However, they had a 3-judge panel. They weren't able to testify, and they gave them 23 years, and he's done 30.
I mean, all the stories,
And
they
so,
just
right.
all
And
sound
so
the
when you
same.
think about it, he's gone to the board several times, and he's like, I committed crimes, so why should I, And I just finally told him, look, I know you didn't commit the crime. I know you didn't, but there was still a loss of life.
A lot of people I know just had to
It's
say
still a
they
loss
did
of
it.
life.
Well,
Just
that's
say
that
you
whole-
did it.
They just say
that whole
they
plea
just
deal
had to
thing,
say
Right,
it.
right. Say you did it.
Say you did it.
Because if you don't, you're still going to be sitting there for another, 5-10 years.
But then if you
It's
say
really
you
sad.
did it, then you can't file an appeal.
Exactly.
And then you can't really get out and be exonerated.
Exactly.
If
Then-
my husband would have took his case and just took the plea deal, he would have been convicted for 10 years. He would have been out already.
But then
You know what I
the
mean? He's
people,
been in for 20 years now. Still another 17 to go.
we got exonerated people getting fired because they put no on their job application. So if I got convicted, then I got exonerated, which means I don't have a record anymore. So when I filled out the application, I'm going to say, no, I haven't been convicted of a crime because I've been exonerated.
Right.
And rightfully, that should be the right answer.
Right.
But they fired her.
We have a caller calling in, Coco. She's actually out of Mississippi, but she just received a notice to vacate her premises.
Yep.
And she's been out forever doing God's work right now. You know what I mean? And it's just, it's absolutely insane. Just even after being put into society, being a restored citizen many years out. I mean, look at Ruel Saylor.
Yeah.
Ruel Saylor, Comma Club, wrongfully incarcerated, Larice Glover, Derek, all of these guys from Cuyahoga County that were exonerated, innocent of the crime they were convicted of, but still rightfully have to live life as if they were a criminal. Prison, especially being in for decades, really does take a toll on somebody, not just on them, but their families and their loved ones and their family and everyone around them. It's devastating. And it's really time for people to wake up and realize that the system makes many mistakes, and it's time to stop holding all of them as one, as that eye for an eye. Eye for an eye, you did the crime. It doesn't matter. DRC, DOC, whatever the state wants to call them, they have a responsibility to withhold when our incarcerated people are under their care, period. I don't care if the 13th Amendment says they're slaves. They're slaves. The 13th Amendment has an exception clause in Ohio and many other states that defines them slaves.
I agree. Audrey says, my son took a plea deal for 3 years, but the judge upped it to 4 years because he didn't get a case against him prior to being a judge. He was our county prosecutor. Wow. Those are the type of situations we're dealing with. And when we think about stuff like this, thank you, Audrey. I mean, you can also call in.
Yeah, the numbers actually, if you're watching the actual live, it is streaming at the bottom of the screen. If you're listening in, 216-939-5087. Phone lines are open. Please call in. We want to hear your love too.
So I wanted to not piggyback on that, but just kind of move forward a little because we know there's so many issues. And so when you start talking about gay leads, when you start talking about coming home, re-entry, you know, that's what we really want to start focusing on because we know the prisons have a lot of issues, you know, but re-entry for our men, women, and juveniles, you know, at the state level, at the federal level, juvenile level, we really need to start focusing on that because the way the society looks at them is undeniable. They're very judgy. Yeah, I know that's my word, you guys. I'm sorry. But they're very judgy, you know, and it's like they got several strikes against them, and especially our African American men, you know, and now our women who are being treated like they're fourth class citizens, you know.
So yes, we are. This is going to be an all Ohio network for this population, and what we're doing immediately, we're doing some grant stuff. So we're getting ready to have employment, and we're getting ready to have housing soon here in Cuyahoga. We got a lot of stuff going on in Columbus as well. And
somebody's calling.
Hi, caller. Welcome to Spreading Love Unapologetically. What's on your mind?
Hello, this is Heidi. I work with these ladies pretty closely on a daily basis.
Hey,
Hi, Heidi. How are
That's
you?
some of the things that we're talking about.
Go ahead, Heidi.
We got two.
One of them is I also, along with everybody that's pretty much advocating today, we talk highly
Excuse me,
about
Heidi.
everybody having loved ones that are in there, and that's we not only fight for them, we fight for everybody else.
We hear you too, sir. Okay, just be patient. Go ahead.
I
Heidi.
personally have been starting to help look more into the Aramark situation and the nutrition and the problems that we're facing with the food. And it's a slow process, but we're working on it. And I actually was calling in to deal with some stuff with my own son who is incarcerated as well. And as I was doing that, I had to basically interrupt the unit manager because she was trying to fill me with a bunch of BS that I just recently researched. So with that being said, as we call into the prisons and we talk about it and we research it and we find out everything that's going on, we don't really necessarily get the truth. They kind of cover up and they kind of add their own stories into it, I believe. But if we got people that are listening in that have more things that they would like to add to the Aramark and what, because I personally work closely with one of the top dogs at Aramark, and he's willing to take some information on what's going on. And I am trying to gather all the information I can to gather for him to actually add to trying to fix the problems that we're having with the food and the nutrition.
Okay.
So I was hoping that we can gather people together that can help us get more information. That would be great.
Okay. So we're Aramark is the provider for the food. Is it all Ohio?
I believe
For
so.
Yes.
all Ohio, the all Ohio prisons. And so they're trying to work in conjunction because they've had several issues where they really wasn't on top of things and it got pretty bad. So I guess they're giving Aramark another chance with this food situation. And we have been sharing that about Aramark, and we will continue to do that, Heidi. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. You guys have a good day.
Okay.
Thanks, Heidi.
Is other caller still there? Okay.
Call back.
Call back.
Back.
216.
Heidi's got a lot of passion. She was strong-winded.
Yes, definitely.
Now, where were we at before we got a call? I don't remember. What were we saying? Nobody knows?
Basically, just speaking on the positive, though, we have all these negatives, but we have a situation here where we're all coming together, and we need everybody to step up, volunteer, and see, you know, what services you have available. What is your strengths that can help us fight this battle?
Yes.
We definitely have the platform here. If you're unsure, you feel free to reach out to any of us, and we can place you.
We just created a new email, Spreading Love Unapologetically, as you see us advertising it everywhere. No numbers, no symbols, no nothing, just Spreading Love Unapologetically at gmail.com. Please reach out to us. We're looking for contact information. If you know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody, please put them in contact with us. Like, you have 3 solid organizations / LLCs right here that are willing to put in the work to be sure that real change happens now. Not that it's coming, because we're done hearing that it's coming.
Right.
We want it to happen now.
And we have all our paperwork in order.
Yes.
We are proper, procedural, and contractual.
Yes.
So we are 501c3, LLC, S Corp. We have everything covered.
Yes.
So
So let me just piggyback again.
tomorrow.
Okay, so I'm gonna be the one y'all mess with this week. Okay,
Mhm, mhm.
It's okay.
Your turn.
Come for me.
Uh-huh.
But you guys that are listening, please. And I don't like to beg because I don't even like to sound like I'm begging, but the most important thing that we need right now is we need organizations, we need businesses who are willing to mentor or provide internships for loved ones returning from prison. That is so important. And that includes the youth, because, they seem to be the population that's left out a lot. And so we need to focus on them as well. They need jobs too. When you think about the barriers to returning home, housing, employment, they need some money. They need a place to live, and they need to eat, And so we want to focus on all of that. So mentorship and internships from your business and organizations. Give us a call, please.
Yes. We're looking for janitorial
contracts. We have a list of businesses or jobs, so to speak, that people can do. And then also, I believe, and y'all correct me if I'm wrong, I need to do some more homework, but I know that years ago, the state of Ohio offered a bonding for loved ones returning home from prison.
Do. You can get licensed.
And bonded.
Mm-hmm.
And so that shouldn't even be an issue. So it shouldn't be a barrier to being able to work at your place of employment, or to be an paid internships, or even to mentor someone. so that they can move to another level. We don't want them to return to prison because they can't find a job. We don't want them to return to prison because they don't have a place to live. We don't want them to return to prison because they're being judged.
Mhm.
It's time for change, and change starts now.
So
But
that's what,
remind them that that's the way our system was intended to do, was to keep them coming back. So we need to
Absolutely.
break the barrier.
Yes.
We need to change the narrative, and we just have to keep pushing forward. And I feel like the force that we have just sitting at this table, we will conquer it all if we have to, but we definitely need some help.
Example.
Yeah.
so we're doing, that's what we were at, talking about what we're doing with the janitorial. And we're gonna try to do some home improvement type of things too, because we have another organization that's kind of gonna come join with that. So there's a lot of things going on. As we said, we are prepared. We are official organizations and businesses, so there shouldn't be any problem as far as with people being able to donate and offer things, because they do it all the time. So now is, like I said, it's the justice involved people's time to not be one of them box things.
I agree.
Yep.
Audrey Cabins Maxim said JPay is another issue. I purchased a new tablet for my loved one almost 3 months ago, and he still hasn't got it. And another loved one that has received theirs didn't even work. So those are.
Oh,
insider
speaking,
issues.
are we talking? Oh, the JPays. I was
Those
gonna
are
say we
JPays.
actually I didn't get to talk about what we've done the last couple of weeks.
Yes.
Epic. So yeah, JPay is a whole nother problem of ours, and the person who is in charge of our prisons, the prison director, is actually a former COO of JPay, as well as worked in payment management. To me, that is conflict of interest, and how DeWine appointed her to be a prison director is beyond me. But same goes to why DeWine will not release no more than the 4,000 out of the 50,000 that were already going home, and act as if they put a dent in the population. No, we went from 130% over capacity to 118%, and I'm almost positive we're back up to 130. I don't care what the statistics say. As many people as they were sending home anyways, they were replacing them beds at the same time. As soon as they could reopen those prisons to start transporting from the county jails, and believe me, there were a lot of lawsuits and everything else going on because the prisons weren't wanting to accept certain jails and this, that, and the other. There's funding that goes into this just chain of it goes around and around and around. It's all in the prison system, and it's absolutely ridiculous what us taxpayers, what I pay, what you pay, what you who don't feel you're infected by incarceration pay. Like, we are condoning this behavior, all of us.
Can y'all clarify for our viewers, because I've actually had a discussion about this recently. How are state prisons funded? Where does the money come from to pay for state prisons? I'm not talking about federal, because everyone keeps talking about Will Biden is took care of the privatization of prisons, but that didn't affect the state level, right? So I need someone to clearly explain that for our listeners.
The taxpayers.
Period.
Just like the schools. I mean, when you have budget cuts in the schools, God forbid them do a budget cut with the prison. And believe me, they actually just had a finance committee meeting, and the prison director Annette Chambers claimed she was doing this, that, and they're doing so great. And unfortunately, COVID brought them down. Unfortunately, COVID ruined a lot of our lives at this given moment, but they have done absolutely nothing more than normal to keep these prisons safe, whether it be their own staff members or the incarcerated people. It's insane, the hostility going inside these prisons right now. And I mean, there's been a lot of reports of abuse of power, which, let me tell you, on a normal day, I'm sure there's at least 3 of them in each prison. We have 28 in Ohio. But now they're more common because, you got COs that are working unhappy. They're not getting hazardous pay, although Annette Chambers claims frontline employees are being paid hazardous pay, but COs are just as frontline as anyone else is. So they should be being paid that. But truth of the matter is if they keep instigating the incarcerated population and cause a riot, they're entitled then to their hazardous pay. So why wouldn't they be beating people and antagonizing people and causing people to these gang riots and this, that, and the other? Because if a riot happens, they're going to get paid. But right now, the DRC director doesn't want to pay them hazardous pay because they're trying to pinch every penny they can. We pay $39,000 per incarcerated person a year, and we are at 50,000 incarcerated. Do the math. It's sickening. But we can't put that money into our schools. Our kids are failing. They have nothing but to resort to the streets for love and affection because, most parents are both parents. Back when I was growing up, I remembered I had a lot of friends that had stay-at-home mom or stay-at-home dad. Only one parent worked. You can't do that nowadays. We're working 40, 50 hours a week. It's giving our children less time of being able to spend time with their parents. That's just how the jelly rolls when the economy and stuff goes. But it's sad. We really need to start first and foremost with our youth, and then, getting them now before they are product of the system, because that's what society is doing. That's what the system's doing, is setting them up to be a part of this system. And if they're not, they're just setting them up to be comfortable for when they do become a part of the system, the routines, the detentions,
at school,
all of that.
Definitely.
All of that.
Definitely. So COVID is one of the major reasons that I even got back with the passion to deal with the prison system. My son is in Richland, and I knew in March when they took the kids out of school, hey, I still have a kid that I can't keep safe. So that's what initially got me going. And we were calling for them to do a mass
release 20 by, I remember that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And people thought it was ridiculous, but those people got out. By now, those people and more have gotten out. But something that just strikes me is I've had people actually from Cleveland that I've spoke with that are inside that have been there. Their numbers start with 222, which means they've been there 30 years.
It's actually all the way up to I think it's 236.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this particular gentleman was at Richland when they opened Richland. And he would tell me, hey, it was built to hold 1,500 people and there's 2,500 plus there. Mm-hmm. So the level of people that they have in there, if DeWine can get on, or anywhere across the United States or anywhere in the world can say what the proper precautions are for us to not catch COVID, but you can't implement that in prisons that you're responsible for those people, and then, so I start with prison and then you get into all the other situations. You get into, so he's been there for 30 years. It's not been for murder. It's not been for, nothing that you would think to keep you there for 30 years. It's just ridiculous.
It's the parole board.
It's definitely the parole board. It's different. But even for me, when you go in as a kid, you're not the same person. Murder, whatever the circumstances are, when you sit down, you're not the same person after, and I've had an argument with somebody who's been incarcerated before, because I want to know, for you to come at me, why would I help them? Mm-hmm. Well, you did 20 years. Was it 10 years for you? Was it 5 years? Was it the first time that they told you to go to the shower and bend over and cough? When was it for you that you knew that you weren't coming back?
Right.
Because you can't judge everybody. Every situation is different.
Every situation. It takes someone themselves to change.
And a lot of the things that we see people going through, because these are people, the average person would have a fit. They would be standing outside with signs because you wouldn't do animals like this. When you know that there are people in level 5 prisons in Ohio that have not seen the sunlight, that have not seen the grass, that their recreation is inside of another 4-wall room.
Right.
It's ridiculous. You wouldn't treat an animal like this.
It's dehumanizing.
It definitely
is.
I'm
not, and that's one thing I preach about too, is I'm not an animal person. I don't have animals at home. I would never treat your animals coming in your house as if I didn't like them, though. Right. But, when people say, well, they're being treated worse than animals, I feel that if God gave somebody oxygen, we're breathing life. We should be treated
Like people,
right.
period.
Like people, like we matter, mankind, like don't
Definitely no
dehuman-
R in ODRC,
No.
unless we're talking about recidivism. That's the only R.
Okay,
Yes.
that's it.
I mean-
or return.
Or return, yeah.
And
same
it's
thing.
just because that's the way they have it set up. I mean, you know, you already, okay, so in 2019, they started that violent offender database. Okay. Why? When they're coming off of parole, they're already on 5 years parole. That's not enough
No.
foot on your neck
Right.
Right.
That's
That's
a whole nother
that
everybody.
you got to
monster. That's a
classify,
whole nother
categorize
monster.
them, and dehumanize them.
What they're doing in California right now is going to make great strides everywhere else
I
for
agree
that.
with you.
Because that's a whole nother. You have 50,000 that are in the system in an institution, and you have
Mhm.
another 200,000 that are out here on
Yes.
parole and probation,
Yeah.
and you know,
Right.
with the threat of going back.
Yep. One wrong move.
So when I was getting out, I was involuntary manslaughter. I did 14 years, but I was still had to do a year on parole. So I went to the halfway house, and then they sent me a bill for my parole officer. And I said, why would I pay him to supervise me? If y'all didn't get it back then, and I still got my paper where I got favorable parole, because we knew then that was unconstitutional. There's no way.
Mm-hmm.
So back then we weren't paying that. So, but now you got to pay for your parole officer to supervise you.
House arrest,
By phone.
everything.
They only by phone.
Well, Karina actually put it out there. $39,000 is spent per incarcerated person to house approximately 50,000 incarcerated in Ohio. So that means that it's a money-making scheme
Mhm.
in Ohio. And what we always talk about is
DRC payroll. They're at $1 billion. It's absolutely disgusting. You can go to checkbook.ohio or checkbook.gov, and it will tell you paychecks for years of some of these staff, or for all of them, I should say, not even just some of them, but like physicians. And our biggest complaint right now is medical.
yes.
And we have physicians making anywhere from $50 to $150 an hour.
Yes.
What's the school's budget?
So our teachers, believe in me, we advocate for you as well, and we don't think that it's fair.
We love
Maybe if
teachers.
yes, we do teachers.
Y'all come
we-
and join us.
For sure, y'all aren't paid enough
Mm-mm.
at all, especially when DRC is making $1 billion in payroll and our teachers are sitting at $50 million. A $750 million difference. That's disturbing.
Yep.
And it goes to show you our system set up the way it's intended to be. The school, the prison pipeline. It's serious, guys. And I know you guys hear it. It's time to wake up and get involved. Find one way or another to get yourself involved. Be these people's voices. They need us, period.
And if I could just touch on that as far as the third grade pipeline to prison,
Thank you.
I don't think a lot of teachers even know, because while we do this, we have these conversations daily. I'm doing hair, so I'm talking to people daily about
Right.
this. And I have a lot of teachers, I have a lot of principals. A lot of teachers aren't even aware that the pension system that is set up for Ohio teachers invests
Invest
in the prison system.
Mhm.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
It's like a conflict of interest,
Mhm.
a total conflict of interest.
Mhm.
And a lot of the lawmakers, they're not willing to even do anything prison related because they're into them stocks.
Mhm.
JPay, Securus, all of that stuff is $1 billion profiting off of incarcerated and their families.
Mhm.
Like I tell people all the time, man, one day I'm going to go ahead and print my bank statements for the last 6 years of being thoroughly committed to my husband. And it's sickening. I
Yes.
could have already
Yes.
bought probably 3 houses for
Yeah.
my kids already. It's sad.
expensive.
But you know what? Someone has to love him.
Yeah.
Someone has to be there for them. If not, he would be a product of his environment and that monster they label him to be. He's not. My husband is the most humblest person I've ever met in my life. Like, even being incarcerated for 20 years, like, and not even just him. I have day-to-day conversations with many men and women from the inside. And I don't even know what half of them did, but I can tell you right now, just talking to them, they're cordial people.
Mm-hmm.
They're people of change. They're people that want to be a part of the solution and not the problem, but they're not giving the resources nor the opportunities. And that's what we're here to do, is to at least provide that for them. We have to. In the communities you're in, we have to come together in unity and put resources into our communities so that when people, even our children, whether they're incarcerated or our children, we need more resources, period.
Well, Gina, you know, when you think about resources, and before I touch on that, let me just say this. Alcohol and drugs is one of the major issues why a lot of our loved ones end up in prison in the
And
first
prison's
place.
not the
Which
place
doesn't
for
make-
them.
It doesn't make a lot of sense
Mm-mm.
that if you're using drugs that you go to prison for using drugs. Like that's not.
And you want to know why? Let's tell them why. Because our loved ones could walk right out their cell doors or right in the middle of their dorm or hey to the guy next to them and have their delivery like that. Okay. Whereas if someone on the street wanted, they'd have to wait for their drug dealer to pull up. And, you know, most drug dealers are on procrastination time. It's going to take a couple hours. These drugs are saturated with drugs.
How they
and
get in there, though?
the COs. Okay. So
We haven't been there.
right. So DRC has had visitation shut down since March of 2020. Okay, so we're going on a year. They're just now starting to open up a few of them on the 22nd. Okay, within the last year, I'm challenging DRC to come up off those drug test results. I want to know the percentage, how many tests were given during COVID versus what they would normally give on a day-to-day basis, because they know what they're doing. Because I ask my guys and my women, when's the last time you heard or seen anyone having a drug test? They're not doing them.
Let me be fair here, because I do talk to a lot of people in terms of drugs. It's not just the COs.
And no, it's coming through the mail.
The mail, and so we have to.
Well, the COs let
that's
it come through the mail.
Yeah,
They still.
Right.
I'm gonna leave that one alone.
No, because last week, one of the guys in my class was high on weed.
Oh,
You sure it wasn't K2?
I'm
Because
no,
we need to tell our viewers
No.
a thing about K2, because
no, he was high.
and that's
But
another
yeah.
thing is I have family members reaching out like, you know, I don't know what's going on with my loved one. He's angry, he's distraught, he's hostile. That's what K2 does to them. It
But
messes their brain up so bad that they don't even know the stuff they're even have coming out of their mouth at that given time.
because he said Airmark workers, the maintenance workers, and the CEOs.
Yeah, it's an easy hustle.
And
Yes.
the drones are dropping
Easy
the
hustle,
drugs as
yeah.
well. It is actually they can get, like you just said, they have access to more drugs in prison than they do on the streets. Which brings me back to, why are you sending people
Is that
to
a phone
prison
call? Maybe not.
for drugs? That doesn't make any sense, you know.
Everyone, the phone lines are open.
Yeah.
Call in if you'd like to join in on the conversation. 216-939-5087.
939-5087. We're gonna say it together one
We
time.
gonna get it,
for
y'all. We gonna get it. But I mean,
So
definitely,
and why do we talk about things like this? Because this is what's happening.
Yeah.
They're not following all the rules and all the stuff that they're supposed to be following. If they are, then how are these inmates who are locked up, secure behind ODRC walls, and ODRC is responsible for them? How are they getting drugs? How do they get all the stuff that they get? Because clearly they put it on the website, all the weapons they find, all the drugs they find. When you go to visit, there's a wall of all the COs who got busted for bringing in stuff.
I personally know people that got busted.
So,
Cuyahoga County, where we're sitting right now, just right down the street.
Yeah.
If you look up Cuyahoga County jail,
Yeah.
it's insane how many smuggling and contraband. Actually, Parma police just pulled over a woman who was a CO at the county jail, and her boyfriend was in the car, and he was a heartless felon Oh, yeah,
I read that.
Yeah.
I read
Yeah.
that.
That was crazy.
I was like, shut the front door.
And they just charged a couple of them not long ago for the whole heartless felon and the CO. Like, they're working together. And just so people know, our viewers, Cuyahoga County Jail, there is absolutely no access from outsiders to get in,
Yeah.
period. Not even for visitation.
Yeah.
I know they switched to video visitation now, but even prior to that, I'm talking about bulletproof glass
Thick.
in
Real
between
thick.
you and your loved one. And not only that, but they sat in a circle. It was a circle, and they had a CO. They had a couple of COs just sitting in the middle, and they'd watch, and it was just like a circle. And there's just absolutely no way someone from the outside can get those drugs in. But if we go to a visitation, we're being harassed, we're being checked, we're sometimes being patted down. They can strip us if they want to. But let these COs, they just walk right through.
Cuyahoga has been one of the worst jail systems, though, in a long time. Before, because, like, again, I really started advocating and being an activist during COVID. But I avid news watcher, and I just remember sitting there and seeing the judge actually say, unless you had a felony, he was not sending you to the jail because they couldn't figure out how people were dying in there. This is way before COVID.
Now they're releasing people when they shouldn't be releasing people, and it's a free for all. Seriously,
Definitely.
And while we're on this, February 20th is National Support Prisoner Day.
Yes.
February the 20th, National Support of Prisoner Day.
What's that
Good
day?
day.
But it's gonna be a
week.
a week campaign for National Support of Prisoner Day, which is February 20th, the start of February 20th. We are asking for any and everyone affected by incarceration, which, time out, everyone is affected by incarceration, because if you're a taxpayer, you're footing the bill and you're condoning it. So, as I was saying, everyone affected by incarceration, we are asking for people to display your PAIN, your PAIN, in your window pane, PANE, and bringing awareness to the communities that we live in that mass incarceration is something serious. Slavery is still real. We have not abolished slavery once and for all. We're on a mission to do it, but we need to bring that awareness to our communities of the true effects of mass incarceration. So when I say display your pain in your window pane, chalk markers, window markers, you can get electrical black tape and just, put tape up and down to make it look like prison bars in your window. Something sweet, short, and simple: in mass incarceration, National Support of Prisoner Day. If you're very artistic, we want to see how creative you can get. Get busy with it. I'm doing myself, just to give an example, and I will have a picture floating around soon, hopefully within the next 24 hours. We have some very powerful boards that we use during our protests and our rallies, and I'm going to actually just post those in I have 3 windows, like they're pretty long too. So, put some posters in my windows, get some window chalk or window mark, and it's very easy to clean. I used to have to wipe it off daily on a mirror at work. Very simple, and water and a towel, and that's all I needed. But anyhow, and just write on there: in mass incarceration, free my loved one, free them all, anything. And then I'm going to put I got some blue icicle lights. I'm going to put them around each window just to bring a little bit more attention and, to kind of show people, my windows are decorated to get people to stop and stare, because I do live on a kind of a dead end street, and you can only go left and right, but not much traffic. But just imagine if you could just get a couple of your relatives that live close to you, or, their neighborhood's doing it. This post has been shared almost 400 times. Yeah. We've had several organizations reach out to us wanting to know how they can partake, how they can spread the word, and how we can make this event worldwide. And we would like to do this as an annual event for National Support of Prisoner Day. So please get those pictures in, decorate your windows, get your ideas going the next couple of days. February 20th, we'd like to run it for the week of February 20th. So
I'll do my card.
Yeah, oh yeah, and
That's what I'm doing.
Gaylisa said, yeah, your car windows too. Decorate those car windows.
Because I stay up in an apartment building.
Just remember, when you do decorate, I would like pictures sent to Epic, EPICXTEAM20 @gmail.com. We would like to put together a video of some sort, basically showing us spreading love unapologetically through the communities
Yes.
and a force.
Yes.
And follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, please.
Yes. Yeah.
All our groups on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
By any means. It's on.
Do we have any more comments?
Actually, Coco's gonna end up calling in soon. She was for.
Okay, and I'm trying to see if.
Karina just posted, about February 20th, National Supporter Prisoner Day. Display your pain on your window pane. And in case you guys didn't know, BAM definitely has a new phone number. And it is on our website.
I will tell you it right now. To reach BAM, 614-285-7730.
Okay, thank you.
You ready?
And our website should be up pretty soon.
All right. Epic, easy ways to access us. We are on Twitter at the @ Epic in Ohio. We are on Instagram, epic.ohio. We have Facebook page, Epic Ensuring Parole for Incarcerated Citizens. You can find me, myself, and I on Facebook at GEA_N Anthony Kenny. And my team assists of Miss Lex as my vice president, Alexis Stores. Terry Croson is the other founder of Epic. And then we have Miss Ashley Grubb as our secretary. Big shout out to my team. They've been putting in work all day long, every day, not just for their loved ones, but for everyone's. And then, in about 5 minutes, we have a caller coming in, Miss Coco. She was formerly justice involved. I love that word. It's going to take me a minute to plant it in my head, but I definitely like that. And she's going to share a little bit about her life with what it's been during, after, and even still many years of being released and the trauma she still has to go through on a day-to-day basis, just being a former felon.
Wow. Okay.
That's one thing also too, as I talk to people about what we do daily, I run across a lot of people who've been on the inside, and I just feel like sometimes, whatever you believe in, you're put through certain situations, and once you know, once you know, you're accountable. When there's a situation, say being a teen parent, I'll speak up, because that's my arena.
Right.
So with that, people that have been on the inside, it boggles me that they're not more active, because my first question to them is, can you imagine doing your time through COVID? Like, can you imagine being in there right now?
And honestly, right now, I feel that many who are incarcerated and have been, doing anything and everything they can, like this, even those that really just were slacking off and just trying to just get through their time because they have outdates. Like, I really think that this would be a very big eye opener for many. Like, I couldn't imagine. I tell people all the time, our biggest thing is that, relationships, it's rough. It's rough. I haven't seen my husband in 500 days. I was banned before COVID restriction happened. And without marriage counseling, I don't know how we did it, but we're doing it by the grace of God, because we know that majority of our issues is, and it's not even issues, it's just emotionally draining sometimes, but it has a lot to do with the COVID restriction. Yes. If I could see my husband, whatever just happened this last year will just be a figment of my imagination. I'll be able to focus and continue on. But them just not being able to visit no more, it takes a toll on them mentally and emotionally.
Everyone.
Yes, everyone.
It takes a toll on everyone. It takes a toll on their families, the loved ones. It takes a toll on the administrative staff. It takes a toll on the community. It takes a toll on everyone.
All of us.
All of us.
And we
In one way,
consistently
shape, or
talk
form.
about that with
Yeah.
COVID. That,
Yeah.
mental health is so important.
Yes, you definitely have to take care of yourself. Mindfulness, really pay attention. It's for you and for my cousin over here. Oh yeah, that's my cousin. Yeah. For my cousin over here, not being able to see her son, and hold his hand and share, some food with them and sit and laugh and just have fun, with him.
And the video, like they did just do this new thing, which is a lot better than what they were. But you'd freeze. You'd have to go out and come back in.
Right.
They're expensive, $3.50 just for 15 minutes on a screen with your loved one. It's ridiculous. But
I'll take that.
I take it because at least I know I can see his physical appearance. I know he ain't got no black eyes, no busted lips. He's cool, calm, and collective, right? And it gives you a better sense of feeling when you can be able to see them that way.
Yeah.
It sucks.
It does.
And then just like now with their set and visitation, I was like, oh, I'm not going because of plexiglass and this, that, and the other. And we got unplugged. Oh, there we go.
Okay.
In the beginning, when they were talking about, 2 weeks, this was probably in May, June when they thought they were going to reopen early. I was like, I wouldn't go back. But now I'd take whatever I could get.
Right.
Honestly, if it means sitting across the table for
Yes.
we're right now, for those who can't see, we are about 6 feet apart. Whatever it takes,
Yes.
just to be able to feel his energy and his presence, and for
Yes.
him to be able to feel that too, it would definitely do their soul some good. They do.
They really do.
I mean, DRC should, as much money as they make, they should be streaming programs in on these TVs, whether it be religion, NAAA, any of those programs could be streamed, and you're giving them nothing.
If you guys want to join us in this conversation, please call in 216-939-5087. 216-939-5087. It's kind of quiet today, you guys.
Not used to that.
I know, I'm not used to it.
Commercial.
Commercial. We'll be back, guys.
Thank you.
First and third Saturday of every month, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. You can get free groceries and a whole lot more. You don't need your ID. All you need to bring is yourself. You don't have to come from anywhere. You can come from anywhere. You come from Euclid, Ohio, and come get free groceries. You come from Mansfield, Ohio, and come get free groceries. So please, if you know a friend, tell a friend that needs the help. Come to 6812 Woodland Avenue every first and third Saturday of the month at from 2 a.m. to 2 p.m. While hot meals are being served at 11, and they also have free clothes for adults and children. That's Major Care Ministries, partner with the Cleveland Food Bank. There are everyday actions you can do to prevent the spread of respiratory diseases and to prevent the spread of respiratory diseases. If you're out in public, please wear a mask. It's not a political statement. It's not a Democratic thing. It's not a Republican thing. It's a health thing. It's to protect you and your family and your loved ones and those around you and me. Whenever you're out or whenever you're inside, please wash your hands, avoid close contact with people that are sick, avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Stay home when you're sick, hit that dab and cover that cough or sneeze, and please clean and disinfect frequently, touch objects and surfaces. And for all things coronavirus, please visit cdc.gov/COVID-19. This message is brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station, NoStaticRadio.net, powered by Google. We'd like to thank you for listening to Spreading Love Unapologetically. Now back to the show.
Thank you. Thank you, Decisive. Thank you so much.
All right, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back. We do have a guest speaker I'm going to introduce. Her name is Coco. She is a part of Nation for Change, as well as Positive Leaders United in Solidarity with our brother Kent. And she is actually a force with many other coalitions. And I want to say thank you, Coco, for coming on as a force with Epic. And we are thankful and grateful to have you here to continue to build with us as a bigger force.
Thank you, Coco.
What's up? What's up? How you doing? It's an honor to be here with you guys. You can't hear me?
We can't hear you.
Okay.
Can't hear you.
Okay. Figure it out.
Then we can't hear her.
Oh, hang on, is it me?
She's talking.
Do you have me muted?
There we
There
go.
you go.
Now we can hear
See,
you.
you know, it wasn't even me this time. It wasn't even me.
Coco.
How you guys doing?
Good.
Good.
It's an honor to be here with you guys tonight. It's a privilege. I thank you guys for supporting us, and we rock with Epic all the way through and through. So it's an honor and a privilege to be here. So thank you guys.
You're welcome.
Thank you. I kind of already did a brief introduction. I let them know that you were formerly
Justice
justice involved.
Formerly justice involved. She told me that yesterday, and I was like, "Oh, I like that."
That's my word.
That was her word. I told you I'm gonna try and plant it in my head and keep spitting it until I get it all the way through. But what we would like for you to speak upon is how life was during, how life was after, and how life has been since. I mean, we know that you've been a restored citizen for many years now, and you just shared some news with me yesterday about it's still coming back to haunt you, and what you feel we need to do in today, not what we can do in the future, what we need to do today to collaborate together as a force and continue our missions, whether you're in Ohio and in Mississippi, Alabama, wherever, how we can all build together in unity and solidarity.
Well, first off, I want to say thank you to God, because without him, I wouldn't be anything. I wouldn't be nothing. I always knew him straight up and foremost. I had a praying grandma. She was one of them prayer warriors on the knees and on the altar type of grandmas. And if it wasn't for her, for her seeding that love and that worthiness and seeding and speaking life into me, I don't honestly believe that I'd be here right now, because I know that people, they take on many shape, forms, and fashions whenever I was going through the roles and through the life that I was going through. A lot of people don't know, I don't say my testimony too much, but I was molested from the time I was 2 to 11. Not only was I molested from the time I was 2 to 11, my brother was shot in the back of the head in front of my face when I was 11. I was in the streets. I was raped by 4 men, had to have reconstructive surgery. I lost my kids. My first cousin was murdered and dismembered. I mean, there ain't too much I hadn't done, trafficked, hustled. I mean, and what was so profound in my life is that my grandmother, even though I knew Jesus, it didn't hit me that I needed him and didn't know my purpose until I hit that rock bottom point to whenever I was looking up to see bottom, if that makes any sense. And prison ministry actually helped me see my worth. And people don't understand what it's like for someone that's incarcerated about prison ministry. Prison ministry is a now, not a tomorrow, not a yesterday. Prison ministry is a now. Where's our Christ-like followers? Where's our faith base? Where's our churches at? They need to stand up because we're all God's children, all of us. So you asked about that. I know I got a little bit ahead of that. Prison ministry is what helped me. I knew who God was, but I found him in a prison cell. I finally got sick of, I got overwhelmed, to be honest with you. I have been in Alabama Department of Corrections and Mississippi Department of Corrections. I have had 34 charges in one county at one time. I have trafficked, distributed, cultivated, manufacturers. They pretty much nothing I ain't done other than smoke, crack, and prostitute. But I promise you, I thought about it. Just saying. But I'm gonna be real with it. I'm not gonna sit there and I'm not gonna placate nobody. I'm gonna be honest, completely honest, because that's the only time that we can heal. That's the only time that we can acknowledge it, is if we acknowledge it and we mend it and we fix it. The system is broken. I've had so many complications and so many setbacks, even though whenever someone wants to do right, if they don't have that support system, if they don't have that ride or die, that somebody, because I didn't have no family, because I had done messed up so bad and done things so unforgivable that I couldn't go home, to the family that I did have, even though I was adopted. And even though that I still knew my biological mother, I still had that. Thank God for Aunt She. Because if anybody knows anything about She's or Aunt Shayla's or aunties, man, whew, they some God-fearing women. But if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't have got here, nor my grandmother. And it's a lot to not have a support system. But then whenever you've messed up and know you've messed up and not have a support system, and there's nothing you want to do right, but then you can't. Now, I mean, I was faced with the fact that I got out of jail last time, and then I went back in to try to go to my home. I couldn't go to my home because my family didn't lock the doors on me because I was living in my grandmother's house. I wasn't trapping out the house, but I was trapping. And you don't shit where you lay your head, but still it's the same aspect. I was still doing some things I had no business doing. So therefore I lost my home. So I was in a hotel room, even though I wanted to get my life together. Then I was having to sit there and do what I had to do in order to survive. And that's the only thing I knew at the time. And this is after my kids had been took from me. So now I'm sitting here having to go through that, trapping out 2 hotel rooms. Then I get popped again. Then I go get locked up again. And I'm going to be honest with you. We need a whole lot more people like Deshaun Holloway. And he's the head of narcotics in Washington County, Alabama, and Chatham, Alabama. If it wouldn't have been for him and Richard Stringer, I don't think I'd be here right now in front of your face. And Captain Moran, which is John Moran, which is a warden now at Mississippi prison. They said whenever you get tired of letting that mouthpiece for something that it ain't worth be doing, and you want to use it for something positive, and you want to make a difference, and you want to get your mouth right together, you call me. I think John Moran right now is probably regretting them words, because he said, you get your shit together. He said, and I get you back. And I'm telling you right now, I made him eat them words about a year and a half ago.
Right.
But he's backed me 110-fold. He helped me come up with the programs that I've been designing and creating. And if it wasn't for them seeding life in me, if it wasn't for those people seeding purpose or hope or worthiness or even compassion, I wouldn't be where I'm at right now, because there's been battles that I'm still facing to this day. Whenever you get out and you get on probation, you got to get that job. You got to pay that monthly fee. And then if you don't do what you're supposed to be doing, then guess what? They're going to lock you up and they're going to revoke your probation. They're going to send you up the road. And then you get what? You get on parole. Well, then whenever you get out on parole, I thank God for Kenny Rush. He's up here at DeKalb, Mississippi, Kemper County. And whenever I tell you my parole officer is so cool, he is everybody needs to be the poster child for all parole officers. Because if I swear to God, if you on the BS, he gonna be on the BS, but he's gonna be an encouraging Christian man BS. But But if you were sincerely true about, you really needing help, I went up to him straight up and said, look, I am overwhelmed. I am on the verge of a relapse. He said, I don't know if you're crazy or you just desperate one, baby. Come on in here. He shut the whole daggone thing down. But that's just him. He wouldn't only just do it for me. He did it for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And if we had problems or if we needed something, he was there for us. So it goes back to, me not knowing where I was going to turn, me being so overwhelmed in my day to day, and not having family because I relocated to where I didn't have any family, going through a divorce and everything like that. And just recently, it's been hard. You're in a place where you ain't got nobody and no friends and no anything. And you started over from the ground up, and that's what you're supposed to do. The old school folks, whenever they say people, places, things, you better change them, baby. You better change them. And they ain't lying. They ain't lying. But, it's like probation, parole. You got to still pay the monthly fees. And then I can say God has had his hand and favor on my life.
We just
Do what?
We talked about the parole and probation and, how we have to pay for it and keep it going, even still coming out, trying to get your life together. I mean, what do they expect?
Then you got this catch-20. Folks don't even want you to even work with them.
Right.
They don't care. They don't know they don't have no understanding of what the charge was, or it could have been just a Trump charge. It's a misdemeanor. It really don't make a damn to them. Society don't care. Once you got a label and a target, if you've been to prison, it's a wrap. You done. I mean, there ain't nothing that you can do. Thank God that he had favor in me to where I was a butcher for 4.5 years. You tell me how to do some meat, I got you. But I'm just saying. But it took me working from the ground up with nothing and having to be put in situations where the right people at the right place at the right time, in good communities, small town communities, them big ass places, and don't go to the city. You better get you something honky tonk, especially Mississippi. Go somewhere where they the type of people that's gonna say, well, dust your ass off and pick yourself up and get on about your business. That's the type of people you need to have in your life, because they're gonna call you on your BS. One, and you need that. You got to be able to have accountability. If it wasn't for this people and me moving here, I wouldn't, like I said, by God and these people in this town, I wouldn't be where I'm at. The mayor sits on my nonprofit. I'm just saying, hello. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Whenever he lines you up, he lines you up.
Right.
And it took me having to be accountable for my actions, but with an environment that if I was bucking them, if that makes sense, if I was bucking them, they was gonna buck right back at me, but in the right way.
Yeah.
Not to be degrading or belittling or anything like that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
People that are offenders, we already got this mindset whenever we get out that system out of prison, straight up, we ain't nothing. We ain't nobody but a dog. And hell, we ain't even a damn dog.
Right.
We ain't even a flea on a dog. We ain't nothing. We're no one. We have no voice. We have no nothing. People don't understand. Whenever you behind the bars, you ain't shit. Excuse my French. Hey, was this a family show?
No, you fine. You fine.
Because girl, I'm saying you're supposed to tell me something.
Like it is.
I mean, because I'm gonna just be blunt. I mean, you ain't nothing. Especially, and then there's no security. There's no people that care. Whenever you get behind in bars, man, they shut them gates. Them guards do you any type of way they want to. They gonna talk to you any type of way they want to. Ruthless, reckless. They gonna call you anything other than something but your mama. And if you get on a good day, they call your mama too.
That's it.
Right.
Just to antagonize you, just to be able to get something around out of you so they can take whatever they got going on out on you. Because guess what? You can't do nothing about it. You can't do nothing.
That too. Yeah. You know, these COs not getting hazardous pay, but let's be real.
They ain't getting hazardous pay. They ain't getting no damn thing. The hazard they doing is their own damn fault.
Yeah, but like here in Ohio, if they incite a riot, they'll get that hazardous pay. So that's why they're antagonizing and, you know, starting trouble on the inside, because maybe if they riot, they'll get the hazardous pay. You know, it's just the different hostilities you have between the COs and the staff members versus the incarcerated people. And a lot of people don't understand it. You know, like our brother Kinetic. And even
that just makes me fucking sick. Sorry, excuse the French. It makes me sick. But they ain't lying. Them guys is not lying, because I did time in Alabama. They are not exaggerating when it comes to a half an ice cream soup or something, half an ice cream scoop or something type of mush, a half a piece of bread. We call it wolf booty because we don't even know what the hell it is on the meat. I'm just saying. That's street. I mean, that's what we call it in prison. That's what it's called, wolf booty. We don't know if they come from the pet cemetery or whatever. We don't know, the vet's office. We don't care. But we haven't eaten that mess, and it's brown. You know. and then 2 tablespoons of something scrambled because I know it don't look like no egg. But we ain't getting no fruit. You're supposed to have a certain percentage amount of calories you're supposed to be feeding these individuals every fucking time they eat. You're not. They don't get that. Water, where the water at?
Right.
Do you know what they throw us? They throw us an ice cooler with some ice in it and let that mug thaw out. That's your water. Next, that's what they do.
That's it.
They don't care. That's what you're gonna eat. They're not going to feed you any more than that. They pocket every bit of that money, and then they get off on this kick where, oh, I ain't your babysitter. I didn't ask y'all ass to babysit me, but I asked for you to take care of me. But I didn't even ask you that. You took me out of society.
Mm-hmm.
You took me out from being responsible for myself and my actions. You're responsible for me. So when are they gonna implement the stipulation upon them being accountable for the way they treating people?
Yeah.
That's against our civil rights and human rights. You know, you accountable for me. You is responsible for my ass while I'm locked up. I don't care if I'm acting ass.
Yes.
But it's your responsibility to make sure that I'm okay at every cost. And so I need to be getting some good groceries because I get ill.
It's now our responsibility to make sure that we're holding them accountable for this stuff. You know, it's our responsibility to educate, bring awareness, and keep speaking. And we want to thank you, Coco, for coming on with your real.
Mm-hmm.
We'd have to have a whole session.
We know you do. Believe in me, we ain't done with you, girl. We ain't done with you. We definitely want
you can bring it.
Yeah, to show your what's that?
Her company.
Let us hear about your Nation for Change.
All right, well, Nation for Change, we've gotten a scholarship. There's over 14,000 nonprofits in the state of Mississippi. Well, Alliance Nonprofit and Philanthropy has offered Nation for Change in BTBKs, which is Behind the Bars Kids, a scholarship. So we're enthused about that. We're going to be having a concert, Mark Free with the FNG, and Just in Case, the Rapping Grandpa, that will be headlining for Chris Brown in July. They will be throwing a concert for Nation for Change for BTBKs to bring awareness to what we're doing here in Mississippi and just making sure that we stay in the spotlight, just making sure that true justice actually gets. Just in case, he was in prison himself. He went for 17 cents, and look at him now. He has his own record label and everything. He's a recording artist, and it's amazing. So we're just blessed to be here. Nation for Change. We do have 2 different programs. The 2150 Challenge, that's at Parchment Prison. We've got that, and the Islamic Community Care Packages. That's going on right now at Parchment. So if you have any Islamic materials, literature, if you're willing to donate Qurans or prayer rugs or whatever it may be, or hygiene products, it's going directly to the guys that are at the facilities at Parchment. And they said if everything goes smoothly, then they will open up clearance us for the rest of the facilities in the state of Mississippi. And we're wanting to take it from Mississippi nationwide. Mm-hmm. So if you need us, call us, nationforchange.org. You can reach me 601-575-6017 or nationforchange2020@gmail.com. And it's the number 4, not FOR.
Got a caller in. Hang in 1 second, just in case it might be a question for you.
Can you ask?
Okay.
Thank you for calling Spreading Love Unapologetically.
Hello.
Good evening.
My name
That's my so. Let me see. Hi Zoe, how are you? This is my guest. This is Zoe. I brought him in. He's gonna tell a little bit about what he's going through because he just got out. And Zoe, you can tell him where you at and go ahead. You know how to talk. Thank you.
Oh no. Okay. Now what was it on this?
So just tell him where you from.
Okay, hung up. Yeah,
Oh, he did?
disconnected.
Maybe he'll call back. Anyway, how are you, Coco? My name is
in there.
and I am formerly justice involved, and I coined that term. And I saw you the other night, and I just really wanted you to come on. And thank you for your everything that you're doing and you've done. And you know, I've been doing this for 17 years here in Ohio, and I did whatever I did before so I did 14 years in total. So I understand what's going on, and we welcome it. I mean, I hope that we continue to, I would like for you to bring your people on and we collab and share information.
You better believe it. You can't get rid of me now. We sold up like swole up now. We fam. Because
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest with you, because we have to be our brother's keeper. Whenever we sit here and we talk about we've been in prison and say now that I know that you've been, so now we can talk on a different level. Now we can talk about straight. We took it back.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes.
I mean, we
Actually,
got to whenever.
she's
Go ahead.
probably excited she has someone else that was formerly justice involved because
Yes.
me and Tamara was taking pics at her the one week, and today
Yeah,
she ain't the
yeah.
only one. So
Mhm. So
Good.
yes, what I do. Are you there, Zoe?
Yes, I am.
Hey, how are you? You ready to talk now?
Yes.
Okay.
But I was acting like I had to disconnect and I hung up on the screen.
Okay. Well, this is Zoe. We are very good friends. I've been knowing him for over a year. And we met on another app. And he, like I said, he just got out. And we like to get a man's perspective, and just a little bit of whatever's on your heart, Zoe.
Okay. Well, my name is Zoe. I just got out on November 3rd of last year that just passed. I just did 8.5 years. I've been down the road before. Now it's just a little bit harder because what I'm facing. Like, I came home with though like when I went in, my house was raided and my papers was taken. Like because I was born in Haiti. I'm Haitian, but I've been here over 29 years. I'm a citizen. I have 3 sons. I'm not married, and as of right now, like I'm living with my father. But prior to my papers being taken, since I've been home, I've been to the police station and everywhere trying to get, my naturalization papers, my citizenship papers, and everything, my passport. They don't have it. I'm on parole for 5 years, so I gotta try to get a job. But the help that I really need, I can't find the help. So I'm like stuck in between trying to help support my kids, while living at my father's house. So I have to get a employment working under the table. It's not easy doing so, and like the more I talk to my parole officer, like I know, if I wasn't legally supposed to be here, I would be here. I would have been sent back to my country. But with all the information that they have on me, like I feel as though that it's a possibility they can help me with the like motor vehicles to obtain an ID, so I'll be able to get a job on the books. But I have to find that road on my own, like you know what I mean. And if it wasn't for the app that I'm on that helped me make a couple dollars per month, like some things that I need to take care of, which like the holidays for my kids, train transportation to go see my kids because they from out of town, and getting back and forth to work and supply myself with food. You know what I mean? Like I don't know where would I be. You know what I mean? Like I said, I just did 8.5 years. On the inside, like it's hard in there. You know, it's hard in there for every last one of us that's in there, like that's doing time, and coming out, you would think that you find some type of help, but in all actuality, like those of us that have a record, we if we don't have no support, we're on our own. You know what I mean? The little help that they can give us, it seems like they choose not to.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I mean, I got a lot of friends and people that I grew up, getting to know in there throughout the whole time. That's coming home, and like the system is supposed to be say to help us, but for a lot of us, like it's failing. You know what I mean? Like I'm 40 years old. You know what I mean? Like this wasn't my first rodeo in the system. You know what I mean? But I wanted it to be my last. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because I wanted to be there for my kids.
Yeah.
I have a 15-year-old. I got an 11-year-old, which I would probably sing his birthday, and I got a 10-year-old that's about to be 11 next Wednesday. You know what I mean? I just want something better for them.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Right.
You know, like I don't want them to fall down the same road that I fell to, like because I felt trapped in.
Mm-hmm.
You know, nowadays it seems like we have more, things to utilize to make something of ourselves
Mm-hmm.
compared to back in the 90s. Like we didn't have all these gadgets and these different routes of making money legally. So we don't fall victim to the things that's going on around us. Like a lot of people don't know some of the areas, like how some of us are brought up. I wasn't brought up bad, you know what I mean? Like I got a mother and a father, that work. I always had a roof over my head, this, that, but I just so happened to, chose the wrong path in life,
Mm-hmm.
and trying to be cool.
Yeah.
And it took me so long to grow. And now that I'm finally like understanding the meaning of life, understanding what I want for myself, you know what I mean, and the kind of man I want to be known for or person, like like I want to change. Like if I could go back to tell myself something, is take life a little slower.
Yep.
Like you don't have to rush into anything. You don't have to like listen to what people say or care about what people say about you. Like like being here, like what I mean. Like I was bullied, but like I don't use that to define who I am and why I chose the wrong path.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like it's like it's hard being a foreigner coming to a country like this and not speaking English, you know what I mean, and getting teased and the coding and stuff like that. And you want all that thing to stop, so you try to become cool. You want to be down, like, and you want to do things to get what you want. But in all actuality, like you hurt yourself. And like I've never been hurt going into prison the way I've been hurt, like how I just went in this time. Because, I really got a lot of time to sitting down to think about life, to look at my life and to witness it's not just about me, like I got people that have been suffering. Like after I went to jail my first time, I was I was facing deportation. I was gonna get sent back. If it wasn't for my father that's still in my life that has been carrying me through, through all this, like I wouldn't be where I'm at right now. You know what I mean? Like he fought through for me to stay here because I always got sent back with the hurricane that happened down there, and I got family that died down there. Like I could have been one of the people that passed away too. So like I thank him. Like I I feel as though I owe him so much. But when I got out the first time after he helped me stay here, like I never even looked at that. You know what I mean? Like how what I was facing. Like, I just had an aunt and a cousin that just died down there. One of them was off COVID. You know what I mean? So like all that it helps me, look at life different too. So it's like there's so much going on, you know what I mean? And with the way things are going, sometimes I wanna go the route that I used to go because like that fast, lifestyle was good. It helps me out a lot. But I have to look at the bigger picture.
Yep.
You know, so
Thank
that's part of my story.
Thank you.
You know what I mean?
So,
Like,
dang, you
yeah.
got us all.
Yeah, look, we
Yes.
stuck.
We all.
But first, let me
You
say
got
thank
us.
you. Thank you for
Woo.
sharing. You know, that it takes a
Man.
lot to be able to share something as powerful as that to the world. So first, thank you. Life is all about, choices and decisions and consequences. And right now, based upon what you said, man, you have come a far long way. And, there is absolutely, man, you're awesome. And I look forward to being able to see how far you fly, with every single resource that's in here right now, and those that are paying attention, hey, we got your back.
Yep.
As we say in the Army, I got your six.
We got you. He know it.
So I know you just recently got out. I don't know if you can hear me, but
Can you
hey,
hear
man,
her?
keep your head up
Yes.
and know that you're not defined by your past. You're defined by what you do right now.
She said, keep your head up. You are not defined by your past. You are defined
Yes.
from this point on.
Yes.
Yep.
My cousin said, say less.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I hear it a little clearer on the on Beagle, because I'm on Beagle too.
Okay.
And,
So
I
yeah,
just want to, say thank you to my founder, Miss Carl,
you welcome. So.
that gave me the opportunity to come in here to speak and everything like that. And like she's amazing. And I know if I'm having an issue, I always will come talk to her because she's a great listener.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Whew, we appreciate you, Zoe. Thank you.
Yes.
And you on the
a good night.
yeah.
God bless you as
We'll
well.
see you, and I'll see you in a little bit. We'll see you at
Make sure we
7.
get his contact information.
Yeah.
All right.
And we want you to be a part of this, so you just plan on being on here Wednesdays too. And we can get you on the screen or by phone or whatever. But I know you know. Anytime I ask you, you there. And we're going to try to put some stuff together.
All right.
Yep.
You know I'm here.
Yep.
You know I'm here for it.
Yep. I do.
Yeah, you know I'm here for it because you've been very helpful. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And on this journey that I'm facing. I appreciate it.
Yeah, we in it together. You part of the team.
Together we rise.
Yeah.
All right. Everybody have a good night.
Thank you,
too.
Zoe.
Thank you.
God bless.
All right. Thank you for our guest speakers this evening for tuning in with us.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Coco, you as well. Oh, I hear, is that you? I hear background noise. Sorry, guys.
Happy for the phone.
Yeah, maybe. Coco, thanks again for joining us this evening. We'll definitely have you. Oh, we're clicking out. Hold on a second.
Still here?
Got it short. There we go. Sorry. We'll definitely have you come back on with us again soon. Definitely reach out to my ladies though. If you can't find them, I'll plug you in. No, jump out.
We've already reached out to you.
Yeah, we've already reached out to Coco. Did she leave?
Hey, I'm here anytime, day and night. This is a 365-day a year type of movement. It ain't something that's gonna happen overnight. And we gotta have the right people in the right places at the right time. And straight up, this is our time. This is the time where if we want the change, we've got to be that change, and that change is going to happen. And, whenever ones like us, me and Zoe get here, we done been in the prison system and now we out. We got to be that face. We got to say, hey, look, I am that reason. I am the change. And if I can do better and if I can better myself, then guess what? It is what it is. We're not defined by our past. We're defined by what we do right now. And that's getting our people educated, getting them the knowledge that they know about voting, making sure that they stay on the right path. And if they need someone, be their resource for them. Because sometimes people just need somebody to talk to, just to be encouraged. That's it.
That's it.
And it's an honor. And I look forward to working with you guys. So
All right.
if you need me, I'm here.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and close this out. We got 15 more minutes before we have to wrap up. We do want to go over our national window campaign again. Coco, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you again next time.
Yeah. She don't have. Oh.
All right. Thank you guys for coming in. So the last few minutes, we would like to go over again our February 20th national Support a Prisoner window campaign. February 20th, National Support a Prisoner Day. Those that are affected by incarceration, we are asking you to display your pain in your window pane, chalk markers, tape. If you can get really artistic, draw a picture in some way, shape, or form that shows your campaign for mass incarceration. For the 13th Amendment, the exception clause, slavery is extremely real. Modern day slavery, they just changed the narrative and they are using our incarcerated people as slaves. We definitely need to bring more awareness and educate those that aren't aware, because honestly, I was just sitting on a national panel with Abolish Slavery National Network. And when I started collaborating with them was when I found out in Ohio we had the exception clause. So many people just don't know about it. And it's time to teach people that slavery is still very real. So I would like for everyone to please participate in this National Window campaign and send your pictures to us.
And let me
Please,
just
please,
say,
please.
if you have a loved one or if you know someone through JPay, please make sure that you share it to them as well. By any means has also shared through our JPay and our loved ones.
Okay, Lisa, any final comments?
Follow us on Facebook. Follow, like, share. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. February the 20th is National Prisoner Support Day. And we do have, we're going to be announcing some stuff next week, because we're going to try to have a overall convention for the formerly and presently involved, justice involved people here soon. We're going to be doing some fundraising stuff. And every week we plan on having a speaker. But as I said, follow us, follow No Static, ALHH, Epic, by any means. Follow, support, like, at least do that for us. Make us go viral if you can't do nothing else.
Big shout out to my team, my leader, Miss Teresa Rogers, who actually.
Thanks for joining us today,
Alright.
Teresa.
Thank you, Teresa.
Hey,
We know you're a busy woman.
She
Got
came
the-
from out of town and all.
Busy woman, but thank you, T. I mean, she made a big sacrifice to come here today. And I
Yes.
appreciate you. We appreciate you. Also, big shout out to the rest of our team over at By Any Means.
By Any Means.
Karina, Udabon, Chrissy, everybody.
Everybody.
Heidi, all of y'all, thank you so much. Thank you for the hard work that y'all put in for everyone. Thank you for your countless hours of phone calls, emails in the middle of the night, phone calls, emails, and just reaching out to everyone. Thank you to Epic. So much work that you guys do.
Gina, I'm telling
Thank
you.
you to ALHH is in
Woo,
the house.
in the
Thank you so
building.
much. You know,
That's
I
it.
hear nothing but good things, and I think it's
Mhm.
it's truly a blessing that we're able to collaborate and to form a team amongst people as awesome as y'all.
And
What's
unity,
our email?
solidarity.
It's all about that. And
Yes,
I
definitely.
appreciate that. Thank you so much.
What's our email?
And I want to shout out my
Yeah.
Epic Dream Team as well.
Woo!
Terry
Hey.
Croson, Miss Founder
Hey,
/
Terry.
Treasurer of Epic. Alexis Stores,
Alexis.
our Vice President. We
Thank
love you. And Miss
Alexis.
Ashley Grubb, our Secretary. She's been putting in some very hard work in making these live with Brooke. They're being broadcasted off of Epic's page every Monday or every other Monday. Tune in, watch our pages. There's several of them. I'm sure if you can't find one, you can find another. Twitter, Instagram, donations, sponsors. All three of our groups are looking for them. Please, 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 please. We cannot continue this fight without the help from our communities, period.
Yes.
We are working on donations. This work does not get done freely. We have to use donations, whether it be printing flyers, paper, printer ink. It costs. So if you know of anyone that would support us, sponsor us, anything, please have them reach out to us. We dropped the email address earlier, Spreading Love Unapologetically @gmail.com. If you use that email, you will connect with all three of us.
Yes, 4 of us.
All three of our organizations.
organizations.
I'm sorry.
Organization.
When I say 3 of us, Teresa, I'm not excluding you. I promise you.
us.
Y'all is
All of
one.
us.
They're one over there.
That's right.
All of
One.
us.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in.
We love you guys.
We
Thank
love
you
you
so
guys.
much.
Thank you to No Static Radio.
No static.
Yes.
Decisive on the
Yeah.
1s and 2s over there.
Hey.
Hey.
Yes, No Static Radio. Thank you so much. And Mr. Solomon, we
Solomon.
see you sharing, spreading love unapologetically
Uh-huh.
for us as too. We appreciate
All
you.
right.
We will be back same time next week,
Next week.
same place, same force.
Out.
Hey.
We out of here.
Deuces.
Oh, I'm glad that was close. Yeah.